No, I see it from a completely utilitarian point of view. Of the trees had a lot of verticality that doesn't actually play in the game because you can't climb them all the way. So you have all of this plastic that could be spread out, and it's gone up. And I say this from, as I said, a completely utilitarian point of view of, do you know how much of a pain it is to get enough terrain to outfit 16, 24 tables? It is miserable. Miserable.
I can imagine.
And it's one of these things. So if they did a starter set that has like proper terrain, or they did a starter set that had like, even if it was like MDF, because I don't think anyone's particularly wedded. I like the plastic, and I like all the kind of detailing and stuff like that. But like, I would take a starter set that has slightly more terrain, but it's MDF, because it's just so much more fun to be playing with a full table. For what it's worth, it's much better when you play with full warbands as well. But you know, so yeah, I just think it's a matter of if we're doing this, let's just do it well. Good table, full of terrain, good warbands. Go with it. I would love if they came out with a starter set that was like that. I would still buy it.
Mm.
Even though at this point, you know, I don't think any of us are starters, but yeah.
Well, it depends on the warbands, right? Like, even, right, because I was doing this recently, because I was looking for more terrain, and I was looking for the Scales of Talaxis box, because I love the terrain of Scales of Talaxis. And what that has, it has the terrain, the board, and all the mission cards in there. And I think it's even got a token sheet. I can't even remember, but it might have a token sheet. It might not have a token sheet. But that thing sold out in like seconds. And when you look on Games Workshop's website, there's no way to buy like a board of terrain that isn't going to cost you several £100.
Didn't they immediately split it into 3 parts?
They did. They totally did. They released the box.
Like £40 for each of them. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, the box sold out instantly. And then like 2 months later, they released all the stuff individually. So I don't even need, to be honest, I don't even need a starter set. Give me a Warcry accessory set, which is a full border terrain, the tokens, the cards, all that stuff. Make it a reasonable-ish price. Like Scales of Talaxis, I picked up for 60 quid, and that was basically RRP, what it was. You could Games Workshop could feasibly do that and say, you know what, you pick any 2 warbands off the shelf, buy this box, you can play Warcry with it. Throw the rulebook in there, whatever. It doesn't have to have warband to get me. It doesn't have to have the warbands in there, because they're going to release warbands anyway over a prospective life cycle of a game. They're going to do it, and they're going to do it like 3 months later. They're going to release warbands. But that's the biggest thing, right? Because I've had people come to me and say, "Oh, how do I start this game?" I said, "Well, you can buy any 2 warbands off the shelf." Okay, what board do I play it on? And I go, now that's a problem.
But that's a problem regardless, because they don't. All of their terrain are either sold out for ages. Say this as someone who pre-ordered a Watchtower of the Empire, whatever it's called, like the big one. 3rd of December. Still waiting.
Is that a classic one from like?
Yes. Yeah.
That's a really nice Watchtower.
Well, I'm really hoping that I'll have it in time for UK Games Expo, but if it keeps going like that, I'm probably not seeing it till next December. But like any set of terrain that is like worthwhile, that is like a decent amount of plastic to get like a full board for a decent price, will be completely sold out immediately, not restocked. Like, there's so many sets of terrain that GW has done over the years. That's fantastic. And even the ones that are like super practical, like the Mausoleum one, for Warcry, it's not like, it's nice and thematic. It's not super interesting to play in. But it's still like very nice, very thematic. You can do the Cursed City story on it. It's very fun. It's very good. But you can't buy it. You can only get it secondhand. You can only get it if you if you're, somehow around, Toast's area, and you go to some of those really cool, out of the way kind of secondhand shops, and you find
Oh yeah.
all of the terrain you'll ever want.
Shout out to Graham's Workshop, right?
Absolute
if you're up
legend.
in like Newcastle Gateshead area, check out Graham's Workshop. Awesome.
Yep. He comes up here as well. He was in Carronade, Falkirk last year. That's where I found him. This was awesome.
He does all kinds of shows. He's all over the country.
100%. So yeah, those are the lengths. You have to kind of go out of your way to find tables and put them together and paint them and get them ready. So having an easy way to do that is yet another thing. And as you said, the other thing that you said, Eitan, was the PR,
Yes.
like getting a bit of attention from GW, because
Yes.
I think the last article we got for Warcry was not even the FAQ. The FAQ got what? Leaked?
No, it was for the release of not Pyre and Flood, whatever the last one was, Bone and Broth, whatever it was called. Briar and Bone. There we go, Briar and Bone.
I'm getting it. I want to get the exact fucking date because it's been a long ass time.
Yeah.
It would have been, what was it? Is it September or is it before? No, it's before September, like June or something.
So if you ignore the miniature of the year article in December, it was September the 27th, and even that was kind of just like.
That was the whoops, here's the FAQ, because we kind of changed providers and it leaked.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the Stormcast and Brands Oathbound and stuff.
Mm.
And even then, before that, the next closest article was in fucking July.
Yeah.
So it's like big chunks of time between articles, sadly.
That's something that is within GW's gift. I mean, I understand if there isn't, product, why wouldn't you, push what there is product for? But like, how there was that, and I'm going far here, but how there was that screenshot of like North American sales and AOS is like third.
Oh,
and
yeah.
everyone was like super surprised.
That's like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. That's, at the end of the day, if you want to play Warcry and you don't want to play one of the bespokes, you're going to have to buy a bunch of AOS stuff. And I'm not saying that Warcry is a significant amount, of the sales, but we don't have the numbers, so we don't know.